the less I do, the more I make. And I started to get really fascinated about this. I'm like, how is this even a thing? Because it goes against everything I've been taught. Alright guys, what's up? Welcome back to another mini episode, another Minute with Morgs. Hope everyone's been well, and I appreciate all of you guys for coming back and being on this show every single week. If you're brand new to the family, hit the link in the description of this episode and join the free Facebook community, okay? And if you're back, and if you're a long-time fan, welcome back. Good to have you guys here. So in today's episode, I want to talk about how you can actually live your dream life now. Start living your dream life now, and stop waiting until the day you have all the things you think you need in order to start living it. See, here's the thing. So many people are out there, hustling, and they're creating their business, and they're building their dream life, or they're working on their body, or they're working on their relationships, or whatever it might be. They're doing the do because one day it's going to take them somewhere, and one day they've got this vision in mind. They want to live their dream life. They want to create this amazing life, and that's what's going to happen for them one day. But what happens is, what if, and touch wood, and I hope none of the listeners on here actually, this is you guys, but what if you only have 1 year left to live? Like, what if you're part of the statistic that don't make it past 65? 35% of people don't make it to the age of 65. Like, that's real statistics. But most people are trading all their time now, and they're trading all their happiness now, and their joy now, to have it hopefully in the future. And it doesn't make any sense when you think of it like that, doesn't it? So this is something I sort of sat down for a while ago and thought about. Like, here, I'm somebody who I like to work like a lot. Like, I wake up, I get into it, and I'm working at nighttime, and I don't know what a day off looks like. And especially up until about a year ago, I did not know what a day off looked like. And to one of my mentors said to me, he's like, I'm going to challenge you to have 2 days off a week. And I was like, 2 days? What the hell? Like, how do I even do that? What does that even look like? And so I started doing it. I started to get a lot of joy from it. And then what I realized was I don't like having 2 entire days off. I like having 1 whole day off and a couple half days. Okay? But what started to happen was this really fascinating thing. It started to change my attitude. It started to change my energy to my workload that I would do. And it started to change my attitude when I'd sit down and actually go to work. I'd start to really enjoy it versus feeling like I was in this grind. Okay? And so I started to attack it with a different sort of energy, like a more light energy, and I started to make more money. So I started to get really curious on this thing, and I developed this new mantra, and it was, the less I do, the more I make. And I started to get really fascinated about this. I'm like, how is this even a thing? Because it goes against everything I've been taught. I'm sure you've even heard before as well. It's like, you need to work hard to be successful. You've got people out there like Grant Cardone and Gary Vee and all the rest of them. They're like, just work, 10x, 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 right? But I guarantee you, if you look inside Grant Cardone's life, he's got a lot of time for his family. He's got a lot of time to work out still, to enjoy his life and fly on his jets and do all these incredible things. And his time's actually spent doing things that he loves doing, which is real estate and business and yada, yada, yada. So why am I saying all this? First thing is, what I'm saying to you is, stop delaying what you ultimately want because you think you need to do something else to get it now. And I challenge you to think, what if you could have it all now? Okay? Because here's the thing. Here's what I used to do. When I lived in Bali, I lived in Bali for over 2 years. And there was parts of the island and other islands in Indonesia that I really wanted to go to that I never went to because I felt guilty about taking time off my business to go and have fun. I thought, I can't do that yet. I'm going to do that, next year when we hit this goal. I'm going to have more time. And then what happened was COVID happened. I moved out of Bali and I still never got to do the things I wanted to do. Now, what if I can never even go back to Bali? I never get to do the things that I said I really wanted to do. All because I thought it couldn't happen yet. Maybe you can relate. So what I start to do now is actually look at, so what does my actual dream life look like now according to my values? Say my top 3 values is love, success, and fun. So I got to do things I love every single day. I got to spread love, I got to receive love. I just got to enjoy my time. I got to do something that involves success. Like, I love growing. I love business success. I love closing deals. I love seeing people win. I love all these things, and I also love fun. But what I've noticed is if I'm not doing one of those in my day each day, then things start to just feel a little bit off for me. So what I did a little while ago, I looked at my whole week schedule, and I asked myself, if I had all the money in the world and things were rocking exactly how I wanted them to, how would I live my life? So I started asking myself these questions. What does my dream life look like now? I do like working a lot. However, I also like going out on my jet ski. I like going out to dinners with people. I like learning bachata and salsa and doing other fun things. I like having a spontaneous holiday. Okay? So what I did, I looked at my calendar and I said, okay, new rule is this. Nothing goes on my diary except for before 10 a.m. every single day. And nothing goes on my diary after about 5:30 p.m. every day. So up until 10, it's free time for me just to play. And in fact, on my calendar, it's orange, because orange to me, I look at it and I just see fun. Okay, so it's orange time is for me to have fun. It's just Morgan time. Up until 10 o'clock, then after 5:30 p.m. And then on a Wednesday, nothing's on there until 1 p.m. because that's my good half day purely for me. And on a Thursday, nothing's on there until 1 p.m. as well because I spend time with my partner on Thursday morning. And that's what we've allocated that. Okay, and then Sunday for me is completely just off. Now what happens here if on a Sunday, if I feel like I really want to work and get some things done, I get to do that because that's what I want to do. But other than that, I look for what can I do, what can I, go and have some fun and enjoy my life. Now, the old Morgan used to look at this and be like, this is crazy. You need to be working. But here's the thing, what I noticed. Just because I'm sitting down at my desk, just because I think I'm working, doesn't actually mean I'm working. The amount of hours that I would sit down and procrastinate because I didn't really want to be there because I wanted to be doing something else, but I dragged myself there to keep good discipline. What I noticed was the hours spent at the computer on my desk or doing whatever wasn't actually well time spent. Okay? And perhaps it's the same for you. So what I started to realize was this. If I looked back at some of my days, I'm like, I've been working for 10 hours today, but I really only did about 4 hours of productivity. So what if I got really strict with my days? And I worked out, I only give myself 5 hours to get things done. Would I get the same amount done in 5 hours what I did in 10 the previous day? So what I started to do was nothing comes in my diary before 10, nothing's after 5:30. So that's only my maths is so bad. Was that 7 hour day? Something like that. Maybe it's 7 hour day, minus a good time for lunch and some breaks and things like this, right? So there's this thing called Parkinsons Law, okay? Which pretty much states that it will take exactly how long you give it to take to get done. Can you remember back in school? Remember back to school when they would give you an assignment, or university or college, they give you an assignment to do, wouldn't they? At the start of the semester, the start of the term, and you've got a whole quarter to get it done. When do you do it? Do you do it on the first day? Do you do it straight away? Do you get it done the first week? No, of course not. You leave it to the last week, don't you? Sometimes even the last 24 hours. That's what I used to do. I'll leave it to the last 24 hours when there was enough pain increased of the thought of going, well, if I don't get this done, I'm going to get in trouble, right? Where before there was pain there because I was like, I don't want to do this. So I'm going to delay it until I really have to, until it becomes a must, okay? So there's this thing called Parkinson's Law. So what if instead of you giving yourself an entire semester to get your task done, you only gave yourself 3 days and you busted your ass and you got it done those 3 days? By the law of Parkinson's Law, you'd get it done. See, most people don't put deadlines on the things they need to get done, and most people think they've just got a lot longer than what they actually do. So I challenge you to start looking at your day now and going, what does my ideal day look like? What time do I want to get up? When do I want to start work? When do I want to stop work? How do I want to, and I started pulling all the fun things I want to do, and I stick by this to the absolute best of my ability. There are some days where I change some things, but then again, that's because I choose to, because one of my highest values is still success. So there might be a day where somebody needs to have a call with me and they're in America and the only time we can do it is at 9 a.m., right? So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to make it happen, okay? And there's just no other option but I do it and I just make it happen, okay? So this is a very important thing, okay? So give deadlines, okay? Give deadlines for things. So one of the things I do, okay, inside of my podcast mastery community. Okay, so in case if you guys didn't know, I've got a community of people who are wanting to grow, scale, launch, and monetize their own podcast. I have a podcast course and coaching there. Okay, so if you are listening to this and you've got an interest and want to start, monetize, and launch your own podcast, perhaps if you're a coach, entrepreneur, network marketer, or just a visionary who wants to bring their ideas to life and have your own podcast, then send me a DM right now with the word podcast and I can fill you in a little bit more there. But one of the first things I do is I sit down with them on our strategy call, okay? Because we have a strategy call when they jump into the community. I give them a strategy call and I say, and we put a deadline on there straight away. Because if I don't have a deadline, what happens is, here's the course, here's what you need to do. People will give it as long as they give it to get done. And I've seen so many people come through, they invest in the program, and then they don't even do what they said they wanted to do. So the first thing I do is I give them a deadline. I say, here's the deadline. Now we must get it done by then. And every single person I put a deadline on, they get it done before then, if not, they get it done by then, if not even before. Okay? So I challenge you guys to start looking at your diaries now. Start looking at your diaries, start looking at your day planners and say, what do I want my day to look like? And embody the mantra of the less you do, the more you make. Because the more you can sort of attack your days with fun, with joy, and with flow, you're going to get a lot more done in less amount of time. So if I compare my lifestyle now to what I was doing a year ago, I was working so much more a year ago, okay? Now I'm working a lot less, but I'm making probably 5 times as much as what I was making this time last year. Go figure. It makes no sense to what I used to believe. What I used to believe was the harder I work, the more I make, right? That's not the case. Now I believe the less I do, the more I make, okay? So what are the beliefs that are driving your behavior? And what are you actually waiting for? What are you building your life right now for? And how can you bring that into your reality right now? Because that is also, like, that's a tip to start manifesting as well. It's like if you want to create this ideal life with lots of freedom, but you're not having that right now, if you don't feel that right now, then energetically, you're never going to attract the things you need to have that anyway. So start looking at your day right now and think to yourself, how can I start having my ideal day now? What do you need to do and how can you get more done in less time? It's just a matter of being more productive and setting deadlines on your day and enjoying your life, okay? So identify what your top values are and what's important to you and start working back and structuring your day in your life like this and start living your dream life now instead of waiting for the right time when you've got everything, okay? Most people are focused on the most people focus on the pursuit of happiness. Right? And that's what's been conditioned. But I challenge you guys to start focusing on the happiness in the pursuit. It's a lot better, okay? But guys, thanks so much for jumping in this episode. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe. If you're on YouTube right now, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and share this with a friend. The more information, the more of this we can get out to more people, the better the world's going to be. So until next time, guys, have fun. I'll see you in the next episode.